Welcome back to Cardiff. How does it feel being back home?
Yeah, it's good, but it's crazy too. So far, so good. Obviously, it's great to be back home with the family. Great to be back part of the organisation, and we've seen through the first few exhibition games, the fans love it here. We've had sold-out buildings, so it's been really good, really cool.
And how did the new role come about? How are you settling into that?
Well, it came about from at the end of last year when I spoke with Pete and went sort of with him and GB coaches for sort of work experience, and from there we started talking more about potential opportunity here in Cardiff, and then that moved on to where we are today. And so far so good. I mean, obviously I'm settling in. Pete and King are giving me some duties. They haven't thrown me in the deep end yet, apart from last weekend, but that was something we couldn't help. But so far so good. I'm learning the role, learning to get on the same page as Pete and Kinga in terms of the message we're trying to put across. So yeah, so far I'm enjoying it.
You mentioned them being thrown in the deep end last weekend. How did you find out with Pete away?
Yeah, well, I mean that's how you learn the most, right? When you've got to do more than you've probably been used to, and that's exactly what there was. So we had 2 tough games against a really good team. A team that's going to be competing to win everything this year. We were missing some bodies, but we had some good young guys come in and do a job for us, which was awesome. Some local young talent who really helped our guys out. If we didn't have those, we'd have really struggled, and they played great, and that was awesome. And in terms of the games, for 4 out of 6 periods, we really competed, played well, and we did get a little bit fatigued in the end and opened up a little bit. And reviewing the video, Pete's messages, we are really close. We're not a million miles away, and just that little bit of fatigue and mental mistake is, what cost us in both third periods. So we're going to try and eradicate that moving into this weekend.
You mentioned some of the young players there. Obviously, Harewood got an assist on Saturday. Tyler Delapetouche has been stepping in as well with Caruth out. But just a quick word on them. How do you think they've performed?
Well, great. Obviously, they want to start playing for this team, and this last week was a great opportunity for them to play more minutes. Like you said, Tyler jumped in net and had a really good game. Really solid for 2 periods, and made sure that going into the third we were in a close game, which is all you can ask for from your goaltending. Bailey had, as far as I can see from the games I've seen, his best weekend for us, and we want to continue to see that through practice with him. And obviously the young guys, Joe, Sam, Jacob, they all did their jobs and they all played really well. And of course it's difficult. This is a really big step up from the league below, and I think they coped pretty well considering the leap that they had to take for this weekend and playing against Sheffield, not an easy opponent. So all in all, those guys, they played with heart and they did their jobs, and that's what we asked them for.
And what's the target now this season for the team and for yourself?
Well, obviously our team target is to compete every night. We've expressed, in Pete's opening meeting, I believe he expressed how every game really counts. The cup obviously matters. The league is the big one, and then we work our way towards the playoffs. And for us this year, we're competing in Europe too. So we've got 4 opportunities to win trophies, and we want to be in the mix for all of those come sort of the business end of the season. So our goal is to build this weekend, and I know it's a bit of a cliche, but build this weekend into the first games of the regular season and start to tick off those games with good performances and results, and move our way through the season. And we want to be competing, come February time.
And how about yourself personally with this new role?
Yeah, well, for me, I'm obviously still learning, and that's what I'm going to do. Is like the guys are learning new systems, I'm going to be learning a new role really. And so far, I think it's going reasonably well. I'm getting there. I'm understanding. I've played for Pete, so I understand his systems. The most sort of the biggest learning curve, I should say, is making sure I convey in the same message as Pete all the time. And I'm learning that the more I'm around Pete and I'm hearing the terminology and how he's given over his message, I can continue to do that at the other end of the ice or the other end of the bench during games. So obviously I just want to get into the role. Obviously I want to become good in the role and progress through. and then we'll see how it goes from there.